Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week one of the playoffs. I thought I'd give us a little commissioner pick session for just the playoff teams here. I think I missed it the past week or so bringing it back. Here we go. Starting off with the 4 seed, Aubrey's Maku versus me. I think I'm the 8th seed or something like that. I can't remember. MCAS team, yours truly. On paper, looks like it might be a pretty easy win for me, but I don't think it's going to be that. So Chris Olave is out. That's just a big bummer. I had to move in. I think I'm going with Marquise Brown, but he's pretty dinged up too. I'm really worried that it's going to be he's playing but limited snap count sort of situation. Another weakness here is going to be Zay Jones. Obviously not huge. He does make. I mean, honestly, he's been making some pretty decent throws there. But against Baltimore, we'll see what happens. Javante apparently died yesterday, and Freiermuth just had a fine game, I guess, for a tight end, but nothing to write home about. Certainly no Sam Laporta. Deontay started off strong last night, so that's a good start for Aubrey. Evan Ingram, actually, I do think against Baltimore he will do well, and then Kincaid in the flex spot there against Dallas. There should be some pretty good points coming out of that game, so I would imagine Kincaid puts up a good game. I think Curtis Samuel's a good play here against the Rams. Jaden Reed. Do I have his name right? Jaden Reed, not Jalen. Jaden Reed. Playing well as well. So I do think Aubrey's got some chances for some big plays here. I think where Aubrey probably loses this, though, is Zappy probably gets shut down pretty decently by Kansas City. Though if he doesn't, there's a lot of room to throw there. That's going to be a good game with lots of points. So that could get out of control. DeVito against New Orleans, I think that's probably going to be more of a Saquon game, so we'll see what happens there. James Cook, I think a fine game. I think that's probably pretty appropriately projected. I'm not expecting much out of Charbonnet, especially if Gino's out. So I think it's possible. I do think it's possible. I think it'll be relatively close. I do give me the win, though. All right, next up, we're going to check out number 3 seed, Turd Ferguson versus Mihal. Eric obviously had a pretty rough go yesterday, losing Zach Moss and Jamar Chase in the middle of those games, but Jared Goff had a huge night last night, 35 points. I mean, that makes up for both Jamar Chase and Zach Moss getting ruled out early in the game. Mitch Trubisky did fine. Tua Tagovailoa, golly, you'd think I'd be able to say that by now. No Tyreek today, so I'm actually fading Tua pretty hard. I'm not playing him in my redraft league that I have him in. Matt Stafford, though, ought to be able to throw fucking 400 yards today against Washington. That ought to be big. Christian McCaffrey is going to be a big play today as well against Arizona. I think Arizona has one of the worst run defense. Well, anyway, Najee sucks. Kenneth Walker, again, no Geno, not playing him. DK Metcalf against Philly. As long as he stays in the game, as long as he's not getting ejected from fighting, he might put up 25 points. Waddle should see increased volume with Tua out. And then I think Drake London probably sees volume. It really just depends on what Desmond we're going to get today. We got a lot of Sam Laporta last night. Holy shit, that's a lot of points. I do think that Laporta doing what he did puts Mihal in a pretty good spot. Man, I think Tua probably does not get to 15 points, though. Christian McCaffrey, though, could put up 30 points. Kenneth Walker low, we already said that. I think Eric might eke out the win here. I don't know. K-Dot and then Adam Thielen is a pretty rough play. Shit. This is a tough one. This might be the matchup of the week right here. I'm going to give it to Eric, but I'm going to say it's going to be 145 for Mihal and 147 for Eric. Whew, that's a tough one. All right. Chubby Little Hands versus Cancer Boys. Obviously, we had some issues here with this one. Vince's side chick came out of the woodworks or something. I don't know. But anyway, it looks like Vince might still make this happen. Josh Jacobs out. It would have been great to get Tyler Chandler in there. I mean, he put up huge points on the bench, Vince. So if you do make it out, highly recommend you using him. But let's take a look at what really happens here. Will Levis and Josh Allen. I mean, honestly, great quarterbacks to have there. Derek Carr and super flex for Katie is Tyler Lockett. Oh no, Gino. Brutal. Hate to see it. Raheem Mostert against New Jersey. I think he should put up some big numbers again today. With Tua out, I just feel like Mostert's going to get some serious action there. Etienne ought to have a good game today against Baltimore. Derrick Henry, man, I don't know about that one. It's always a hit or miss. But Houston is without their quarterback and their two top wide receivers. So it could be a run game today. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, if Derrick Henry goes off, that means Will Levis probably doesn't do as much. Chuba Hubbard against Atlanta, I don't think it's going to do very much. 13.8 seems pretty high. And then Stephon Diggs against Dallas. I mean, that ought to look good at the end of the day. We'll see. Maybe Katie screws this up like Vince did and doesn't get Tyreek Hill out, but I imagine she probably does. Let's see who she fills him in with. Oh, yeah. I mean, Jerome Ford's been so solid. I mean, gotta imagine Jerome Ford slots in there. I mean, if Gino plays, are you playing him? I think you have to. They have to win that game. So God, brutal. Vince might actually win this, dude. I don't know. I think Vince wins this. Jesus Christ. We'll see. I guess I'm calling it for Vince. All right, let's check out the number 1 seed. Arby's don't matter. Sons of the Harpy was the 8 seed. There we go. I was not. Sons of the Harpy was the 8 seed with the most points, optimal points 4, I believe. Jake Browning lights out yesterday. That's fantastic. Joe Mixon put up a decent game. Justin Jefferson did fine. Sutton, he makes great catches, man. And he's going to be playing for I know his contract goes for a few more years, so that looks pretty solid there. Shout out to Sean Payton, even though you got the most punchable face in the league, man. The dude knows how to coach. Hawkinson put up some good numbers. This ought to be a fun game. I think Kyle Pitts actually, I'm calling it. He puts a touchdown on the board today. I actually think he sees some decent volume against Carolina. I would imagine it's going to be more Kyle Pitts than Drake London today. Call me crazy. I just got this Dirty Bird feeling going on. Jordan Love versus Tampa Bay. That ought to be great. Can't run against Tampa Bay, but you can certainly throw against them, and Jordan Love has been doing that well. Singletary got some goal line touches last week. That was cool. So that ought to be good for him. I think it's going to be Arby's Don't Matter game here, boys and Katie. So there's my call. So we got Arby's Don't Matter, Cancer Boys. I think we said Turd, and then myself moving on to the next round. So anyway, go Falcons. Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or whatever else you celebrate. I hope it's a wonderful one. Hug your family. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Toodles.